Hello. The Law School Admission Council is excited to announce the publication of a new test prep book for the LSAT-INDIA. This book, the official LSAT-INDIA SuperPrep, provides a new way to study for the LSAT-INDIA. The book contains one previously unreleased actual LSAT-INDIA test, along with an answer key and sample answer sheet. Most important, though, are the explanations of the questions contained in the book. LSAT-INDIA SuperPrep is available for purchase for 1,050 rupees. This is an introductory discounted price in celebration of LSAT-INDIA's 10-year anniversary. Go to the official test prep page of the LSAT-INDIA website to purchase it. It will also be available for purchase on Amazon.in. What makes LSAT-INDIA SuperPrep unique for LSAT-INDIA test prep materials are these explanations, which are provided for every question in the test. The rationale for every correct answer is given, and an explanation for why every incorrect answer choice is incorrect is provided. These explanations are detailed and include more than a discussion of the answer choices themselves. Here, for example, we see that prior to the discussion of particular analytical reasoning questions, you get an explanation of the setup for questions 9 through 12 and learn some things that can be deduced right away before even tackling the questions. Similarly, for a reading comprehension passage, you get a synopsis of the passage prior to explanations of the correct and incorrect answer choices for each question. Likewise, for logical reasoning questions, you get an overview of the text of the question before the detailed explanations for correct and incorrect answer choices. The discussion and explanations of the questions are especially super because they were developed by the same people who create the LSAT-INDIA itself. The Law School Admission Council is the not-for-profit premier testing organization that produces the LSAT for admission to 221 North American law schools. Schools like Harvard, Yale, and Stanford. We've been doing this since 1947. In 2009, we created the LSAT-INDIA. This test is developed specifically for Indian law schools. It's written by testing professionals with advanced degrees in logic, English, linguistics, and psychometrics. The process for creating an LSAT-INDIA test is very rigorous and takes a long time. It takes such a long time because each question and section of questions are checked and rechecked to make sure they meet our high standards. They are checked for soundness. That means having one and only one correct answer. The overall quality and appropriateness of the questions are checked. We also verify that the questions are fair, don't overlap with each other, and that they assess the appropriate skills. This last point is important because a law school entrance test should assess applicants for the skills they will actually need in law school. We know what skills those are because LSAC has continued to study that issue specifically. What skills law school professors and students have deemed important for success in law school. One study we conducted in 2003 came up with a list of these skills. The LSAT and LSAT-INDIA assess almost all of them. These are the skills that we can broadly call critical thinking skills. They are essential to success in law school and in the practice of law. The LSAT-INDIA assesses critical thinking skills with three broad categories of questions. Analytical reasoning questions and reading comprehension questions make up about 1/4 of the test, and the two sections of logical reasoning questions together make up about half of the test overall. Analytical reasoning questions are a test of deductive reasoning and concern reasoning about ordering relationships and/or set membership. You have to determine what can or must be true given a certain set of conditions about these relationships. Logical reasoning questions concern short, informal arguments. They assess your ability to recognize or draw conclusions of arguments, apply principles, and analyze argument structure. They can also assess identifying what's wrong with an argument, what assumptions are needed in an argument, and what effect additional evidence would have on the strength of an argument. Reading comprehension questions assess the ability to recognize the main point of a lengthy passage, as well as things that are explicitly said in the passage. They assess the ability to use context to determine meaning of words and phrases, and they assess the ability to grasp the logical or rhetorical structure of the passage. Finally, they assess the ability to draw inferences and analogies from the passage, to apply principles, and to assess the impact of additional information on the strength of the argument in the passage. All of these tasks, as should be evident, are exactly the kind of critical thinking work you'll need to do in law school and in the practice of law. Very broadly, we can say there are two keys to success when it comes to questions on the LSAT-INDIA. First, you must obviously become deeply familiar with the test pattern and practice answering the questions. Second, you must seek to improve by attempting to understand your performance on the practice questions. Tackling the first is straightforward. For practicing, take advantage of the free prep tests that are available on the LSAT-INDIA website. You can also now practice using the test that is available in SuperPrep. Remember, the LSAT-INDIA is a test of skills, so, like any skill, the more you practice, the better you'll get. But also, like other skills, honing your critical thinking skills requires that you understand your strengths and weaknesses. You shouldn't just determine whether you got a question right or wrong, but really analyze your performance. Take a close look at questions that you got wrong and try to figure out where you went wrong. And if you detect a pattern in the type of question you're getting wrong, you should focus your study accordingly. This is where SuperPrep is of immense value because it helps you understand, in detail, how a question works and the reasoning behind the correct answer. You can use it to supplement, verify, or correct your own analysis. It is a tool for preparing for the LSAT-INDIA that you should not be without. Thanks. LSAC wishes you all the best in your studies.